Okay, so are we live? We are live. No, we're not live yet. We're not live yet. Oh, there we're live here. Okay. Let's see if we can see if we can hear ourselves. Hello, hello. There, now we're live. Nope, yeah, we're live. Okay, so let's change this to edit video, open a new window. And what we're gonna do, oh, that's interesting, it's in the background there. Ceiling Cook, editing a cooking video. Save. Close that. Okay, so let's see what we're doing here. So one of the problems is we seem to have fallen out of favor with the algorithm, because the last video has only got 33 views in 24 hours. Type show link to drop your link. Type show link to drop your link. Perfect. And pin the message. So let's I guess we got some visitors on the previous show, and oh yeah, Captain blowing his nose, great. So on the phone, how come I don't see? Interesting. Entering full screen. How come I'm still in full screen? I'm not in full screen anymore. That's interesting. So that let's then move this down so that we can see my pretty face in the. Let's go further. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to edit a cooking video, and then we're going to look at AI. Let's just change this to edit video. May Varshan, love you. Thank you for coming by. Appreciate that. Friends and Mr. Russian, I'm guessing. But I appreciate your coming by. DB, thank you for coming by. Jared Grib, thank you for coming by. Colleen, yeah, I haven't seen you. I don't know when. For the last 2 months, I have been Minecraft player. I will definitely subscribe to you once we're over. Thank you for dropping by. That's Jay Grib. And yeah, Colleen, you're Colleen's Corner, right? Yeah, Colleen's Corner. I haven't been by in a while. I've been sort of away from YouTube for a couple months, and I've got to get my butt back in gear because the algorithm has decided that I'm going to. It seems to have forgotten about me a little bit, and summer's coming. The boat's in the water in 2 months. And I want to get back to sitting in the back of the boat and chatting and watching for seagulls and cranes. So what I want to do today is edit a cooking video Hey, Level Up. Can't remember if I've been to see you. Yeah, no content, but appreciate the uh, appreciate the support. Cincinnati. Okay, so you're not a friend of Mr. Russian, but I do appreciate the support. So what we're gonna do is edit a cooking video, which is actually did it today. So as I said, I'm caught up, getting caught up, or at least getting back on track, and hopefully that's going to make the algorithm happy again on my road to 4,000 watch hours. And I'm going to flip the camera around and aim it at my computer. And now I'm going to tilt this down a little bit. I'm not going to play solitaire. Hey, Caesar Mocha, thank you for coming by. I apologize if I haven't been visiting people in a while. I'm going to say that 25 times today, I'm sure. but yeah, I got a little bit sidetracked, and trying to get back and appreciate all friends that old friends, new friends that have come back. So what do we got here? This is a recipe for ginger beef, and partly because I did ginger shrimp a while ago, and I bought a whole bunch of ginger at the market, and I never knew how ginger grew. And there's some ginger there. And I actually saw some AI TikToks of people picking ginger somewhere in Asia. And I'm looking at what they're pulling out of the ground, and it looks exactly like the ginger root that I'm buying here. So this is going to be ginger beef. Very simple, just beef and ginger and garlic and a bit of soy sauce. So it's really fast. The pantry pasta was really talking about making a meal out of stuff you have in the pantry. This is beef. It's happened to be a piece of beef that I had frozen a while ago, and so it's not really boat food unless you pick up the meat and cook it the same day. But let's look at this. Okay, so we've got cutting the ginger. And I decided this time I was going to mince the ginger with a knife instead of grating it. No particularly good reason, just wanted to be a little bit different. So there we got a bunch of ginger. I'm going to cut up a little bit of green onion. And what you're seeing is the video is in the order that that I recorded each one of the scenes for video purposes. If I was making this in real life, I wouldn't cut my green onion, which I'm using for garnish, until the very end when I'm putting it on the. So here it is, I'm serving it. So here I'm garnishing it. So let's just take this, move all this over a little bit, and take our green onion cutting, which is where? There we are. Okay, and we'll stick that at the end. Hello. So that we're cutting the green onion just before we're using it to garnish. And maybe I got a little bit messy in my garnish there. I ended up moving, you see, so this is where I put it on, and then I ended up moving it around a little bit to make it look interesting. Spread the green out a little bit. So, but yeah, I definitely have to start with the ginger, but I'm even going to, because the ginger is kind of a boring part. The interesting part is the meat, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut up my meat to start. Let's do that. And this is a piece of tenderloin. In my dialogue, I'm going to talk about it. Can be any slice, any cut of meat in general. But it's a piece of tenderloin that was left over from a barbecue, and let's cut that up and leave that there. So that's going to be the first thing in my video. And the reason for that is that I've had people point out that if I spend the first 2 minutes cutting up onions, let me just make sure that the sound is working here. Where can I get some sound here? Why don't I just turn this sound up? Hello? Yeah, we've got sound. Okay, that's good. People have complained, or not complained, but pointed out that they're not going to get their 2 minutes of time that they invested in watching me cut up onions ever again, and they're right. The cutting up onions is necessary. Cutting up the ginger is necessary because this is a ginger beef recipe, but beef is more exciting than ginger. And so this meat looks pretty good, actually, for something that had been previously frozen. Let's zoom it down a little bit, make it fit the screen nicer. There we are. Okay, let's talk about that. So this is our first scene. Where do we put it? Okay. Let's start it there. It's going to come in here, and then we're going to put it there, and we're going to start cutting it up. Should have cut the fat off a little bit. Sometimes I like fat. In this case, it wasn't really an issue because it's all covered in soy sauce. And okay, so let's cut it here. That's enough. Okay, so that's cutting up our beef. And then what do we do next? Now we're going to deal with ginger next, okay? Because it is beef and ginger. So beef, the ginger is important. So let's see what this is all about. I'm a relatively slow cutter, so we're going to trim off all of the crap. We don't need 2 minutes of crap trimming. 15 seconds is probably plenty. So we'll talk about it, the fresh ginger versus dried ginger. What am I doing here? Oh, yeah. Okay, so that's, on this camera, I've got to take out the first 8 frames because there's no sound. Okay, that's good enough. So let's do that. 10 seconds of that is good. Let's move it down a little bit, move it into the center of the screen. I like that. Okay, so now we're gonna cut up the okay, I'm putting it on a plate here, but I don't like the plate because is that in focus? I guess it's a little bit overexposed, right? Let's just look at the sound light here. Let's just take down the highlights. That's better. So we're going to cut this. Not sure why I'm putting it. Okay, that's good right there. I'm not going to use this clip of putting it in a plate. Okay, so how long is this? Oh, let's get rid of the first 8 frames. There we are. Okay, so this is a little bit on the slow side. 40 seconds. We don't need 40 seconds of cutting up a piece of, where are we? Speed and duration. A piece of ginger. Let's go 140% and see if that looks good. And now we're down to 29 seconds. So it's a little bit on the longer side. 29 seconds, we'll leave it at that. Okay, so what do we got now? Okay, we don't need that, we don't need this. I'm gonna take this out. We don't need the end of that clip. Somewhere here I got a 4-minute long video clip of basically just cooking. Okay, so the phone is having a challenge here, staying focused. Oh, come on there, make up your mind. There, it's good. Yep, okay. Okay, and what we're gonna do, we're gonna take some of this ginger, put it in a dish. Okay, let's zoom out a little bit so that we can see what we're doing here. Okay, don't want to see that plate. We're going to put that in here, and there we are. Because we're going to make some, make a sauce. Okay, so now I'm cutting up a pepper. Pardon me. So we're going to leave this for a few minutes, and we're going to deal with making the sauce. Okay, so cutting up the pepper. We don't need that right away. Let's do sauce, sauce, sauce. And this is putting some garlic in the garlic press. Okay. Okay, so we don't really need 3 minutes of making sauce. The sauce is basically a dish, and we're going to put here. We put some ginger in the dish. Oh, okay, that's too many seconds. But we need enough time to say let's get some ginger in the dish, because I want the taste of the ginger. We're going to marinate the meat for about 10 minutes. Not a long time. It's thinly sliced. and it's a tender cut of steak, so you don't need to marinate it very long. So we're going to do some soy sauce. Okay, let's zoom out just a little bit more. Hello. Soy sauce, okay. Some vinegar. And we're going to stop, pour that in, and stop there. I don't know why I left the measuring spoon lying in the bowl. Okay, now we're going to put in, center this. Let's zoom out a little bit more. So the reason I record everything in 4K and edit in HD, because HD is pretty good for YouTube, and I'm not competing with the travel video people that are doing 4K and 8K. And the file sizes are reasonable. Okay, so what do we got here now? Here we're going to put in 2 spoons of, I think I actually put in 2 spoons. Okay, of brown sugar. Other people that have made this recipe talk about using honey. Stir that up. Okay, again, we've got 37 seconds. Let's go down to 30 seconds. And now we're going to add some flour to thicken the sauce. So let's zoom out a little bit here, not as much as before. That's not true. We're doing exactly as much as before, right? So 75%. Let's go 75. And here it's 745. 745. Position it in the center, and I actually want to zoom out even more. Two tablespoons of flour. And mix that up good. And as opposed to other recipes where I've simply put the flour into the pan, and I've asked myself, why am I not putting in the flour, not building the whole sauce in the in the frying pan to make it truly one pot? But I didn't give myself a good answer for that. Okay, so here we're going to cut up some red pepper. Okay, but not yet. I mean, this is when I did it in real life. But what we want here okay, so here we're going to cut up some red pepper. We're going to take all of this and move it over on the other side of that. Premiere Pro has this neat insert edit where you hold down control and it'll move everything over. So we made the sauce. Interesting. Here's very light color. Okay, so I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to change the sequence because I didn't really need the okay, so I took it out of the sauce. I guess I didn't add, this doesn't make sense. Hey, Suzanne Morjon, sorry I haven't seen you in a while. I will come and say hello. Tied up with a bunch of other stuff, but thank you very much for coming by. Thank you very much for coming by. So we're going to take this, putting the flour in, and move it over here somewhere because there's no flour in the sauce yet, right? So I don't know how I did this. There's our sauce. Okay, so here what we're going to do is okay, that's why. So in real life, I cut the meat and then I put it in the sauce before I added the flour, which makes sense. The flour is for thickening it while it's in the when it's in the pan later on. And why am I thickening it before I'm putting the meat in? Okay, so this is going to be here. So we made the sauce and add the meat to it. Not sure why I'm moving everything around there. I wanted to make it fit. Okay, I like that. It's not too big of a jump cut. And I think show link works. Show link, yeah. So here we're going to put that in there, and it's going to sit there for a while. I probably did like 10 minutes. 10 minutes is more than enough. Okay, so I'm taking it out. I'm putting some flour in a plate. Yeah, other people have recommended cornstarch. Partly cornstarch because cornstarch also has some meat tenderizing capabilities. but I didn't need tenderizing here. Okay, so here, again, let's take out the highlight. Go down 51% on the highlights. Let's go zoom out a little bit more, move that over. No, that's as far as it can go. And now we're taking the meat out of the marinade and putting it on top of the flour, and then I'm gonna mix it up and coat the meat. Other people then want to deep fry the meat. I'm not a fan of deep frying because on a boat I can't afford that much oil either to have in the first place, or to deal with afterwards, right? Where are you going to pour your oil? Okay, so this clip is superfluous. Let's get rid of it. Can't pour it down the drain. It'll be floating oilberg in the harbor. Let's get rid of that one. What number is that? 275. You're gone. Pardon me. 275, you're gone. Where is 275? 275 is there. Can't remember what I was doing. I think the camera wasn't focusing on the frying pan properly. So I was fiddling with it to, let's save this, save early, save often, to get the focus right. Okay, so there's a frying pan. Let's zoom out. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Yeah, let's zoom down. Okay, so here, okay, some regular oil. Okay, how many seconds do I have here for mixing this with the flour? 1 minute and 14 seconds. So that's way too long. I wonder. Okay, let's take that off. So now we're down to 1 minute and 6 seconds. It's still longer than necessary, but I can talk about the coating. And then I'm going to put in some sesame oil. Let's see where this ends. Pour. There we are. A little bit more. Okay. And now I'm going to put the meat in. And what was I wrong doing here? Oh, the oil wasn't hot enough because there's no sizzle. See, if you look here on the audio, there's no sizzle. Here, there's sizzle. So it's interesting. So let's get rid of this clip. We don't need that one. Reveal on project. It is 277. 277. You're gone. Where's 277? 27477. Yep, you're gone. And I'm just going to rename things for now. I'll actually delete them later. That way, if I have to change my mind for any reason, I can easily do that because I haven't actually lost the clip. Now, the videos are still on the camera, so they'd stay there until the next cooking episode. But in the short term, they're out of our hair. Okay, so now let's make this zoom out a bit. Let's make this the same as this. What is this? 71% and 1083. Let's go 71. I don't know. I think I might have zoomed the camera. Yeah, I actually zoomed the camera here, so let's go pretty far out and take out the first 8 seconds, eight frames, not 8 seconds, 8 frames of missing sound. And we're going to do that now. Okay, let's get rid of that. We don't need that until the first action is when we're picking up the plate. And then we're putting it in, and mixing it around. Okay, so here I'm tearing at it with a fork, a steel fork in a nonstick pan. But that's partly because I didn't cut it properly and I didn't realize some pieces were sticking together. So let's take out that mistake. And let's see if this is a good edit. We got a big jump cut here, or what have we got? Okay, so let's change that so it looks like we're picking up the spatula. That's nice. We got a lot of good sizzle there. Let's just turn that up. See if we can listen to the sizzle. Oh, let's just turn the sound off here so we don't get an echo. So there's a lot of good sizzle there. There's some strange noise at the beginning that I have to get rid of, but we'll deal with that later on. It was when I was cutting something was shaking on the counter, and ended up with some extra noise. Okay. Okay, so here, I like the fact that it's getting it to be a nice brown. So let's zoom in. I like that. That's nice. A little bit off center. That's nice. So that's a nice cut between one clip and the other. Save this. Okay, so now what have I got here? We're cutting up the peppers. So because this is going to cook for about a minute. So the timing is a little bit wrong here. Okay, so cutting up the peppers is going to take how long? Okay, got a pepper, zoom out. Okay, so I actually didn't sacrifice a whole new pepper for this recipe because I had a piece of pepper already cut, but I did want to show a whole pepper to set that. So there's a prop. Piece of pepper is a prop. Okay, there we are. There's some pieces. And I guess I cheated a little bit because it's a red pepper and I've got some orange pepper there as well. Cut. Okay, how long was this? 28 seconds, way too slow. Speed and duration 160. Let's see what it looks like. How many seconds is it now? 17 seconds. You can always take some out if it gets boring. But I want to talk about red pepper versus green pepper and things like that. Okay, so now okay, so here Here I'm thickening the sauce. So let's move that over. We don't need to thicken sauce for several minutes, right? There, okay, there we're pouring the thickening sauce into there. So that's where that is. So we've cut up the red pepper, and then we're going to cut up some garlic. How many seconds is this? Okay, that's good. 14 seconds of putting in the cut. We can make it shorter, as I said. Hey, Tuber, thank you for coming by. Yeah, I've been away for a while. I thank you for that. And I didn't end up watching your live earlier, so thank you for coming by. I said in my chat there, I've really laid low for 2 months and only did 2 uploads and 2 lives, I guess, over January or February. And I did one. The first upload was good. It got its 300 views. But the second one, it got 33 views in 2 days, and that's normally I'd be getting 100 to 200 in 2 days. So I'm thinking that the algorithm hates me, but yeah. So yeah, Tuber Chat is a great resource for ideas and inspiration. Definitely somebody to check out. Drop your link, type show link, and check out my good friend Tuber Chat. Okay, so show link obviously works. I thought maybe Nightbot has also given up on me like the algorithm has. Okay, so what are we doing here? We're putting in the red pepper. Now we're going to. Okay, so again, we've got to take this. We're going to look at all these highlights. It was a little bit the light was a little bit too bright. And I'm cutting up garlic. Now the problem with garlic, of course, is that it's white. I've got a white cutting board. And white on white is okay, so there's the making of the garlic. 42 seconds, way too long. So we're going to cut that off. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to lower this, zoom out to there so I can see some garlic. We don't need all that. So we're here, we're cleaning up the garlic, and we're going to put that in, cut. I don't know, why did it jump there? Oh, it's because the camera lost its focus. I hate it when it does that. So let's take out some of this. And we'll go back here where we're putting it in the garlic press. And yeah, I don't like mincing garlic. It's too tedious, boring. Okay, there we are. Okay, so that's good. So now we're going to put the garlic. Okay, so I don't know how many seconds of garlic I've got. Way too many seconds of garlic there. So let's do this. Put this together. Hey, Islam Alarman, thank you for coming by. Do I know you? Yes, I do. I have subscribed to you, but I haven't watched anything in a while. As I've been away from YouTube for a while. So thank you for coming by. I appreciate that. Let's give you a wrench, and network to your heart's content. Yeah, video editing a cooking show that I'm getting back. This is I've gotten away from YouTube for a while, and I'm way behind. Okay, what are we doing there? Okay, so now let's minimize, reduce the size of this, put this in the middle. Okay, so here we're making the garlic. No, Tuber, I mean, this is Adobe Premiere. Yeah, it's 24 Canadian a month, but I do use it for other projects, and I've used Adobe since the beginning of time, and I don't have to think about how to do almost anything. They've got some neat new stuff that they're releasing now. I have DaVinci on this computer, and it's free, which is good. The downside is I don't know it by heart, so I've got to think even to move something around or to increase the size of it or to zoom the size. And yeah, like the video, please. Like. So I haven't really used DaVinci for anything creative in a while. At one point, Premiere wasn't recognizing a file from a Canon 4K camera, one of the very first 4K cameras that I had, Canon that I had, and I used DaVinci to convert the format into ProRes. I don't know it by heart, but I know, let's zoom over here. I'm just going to turn the camera here. So here we've got the color wheels. DaVinci does a better job of color correcting than Adobe does. And I want to make the shadows really blue, right? Does that make sense? Doesn't really make sense to do that. But if you wanted to do that, then I like, let's undo that before I end up creating a mess here. So I like Resolve because it's free. At one point, I thought of buying a Blackmagic design camera because the pro version of Blackmagic of DaVinci Resolve is included with pro cameras, and their little pocket camera, the 4K pocket camera, when it came out, was like $1,700, which was pretty good for a 4K camera 4 years ago, until Canon then jumped into it with their C series of cameras, and then they put 4K on the 5D Mark IV, not very good 4K. But I've sort of abandoned aspiring towards a Blackmagic camera. I've looked at that Ursa at some of the camera trade shows in Toronto, and it's an impressive looking beast. Yet it does not do autofocus because they believe that a cameraman should focus manually. Why? The rest of the world thinks autofocus is good. But yeah, I digress. Let's get back to this. Okay, so we've got our, now we're putting this into the garlic into the, okay. Do I show myself cutting it off with a knife? I don't really see that, right? Yeah, so you don't really see that. Okay, that's good enough. You see, you're cutting the garlic press output into the pan. I'm going to stir that up. We're going to put the rest of the ginger in, and we're going to stir that around. I'm going to put a lid on it, and here I've got a whole minute of wasted footage, and that's your minute 27. Yeah, so I got 30 seconds of wasted footage because I didn't press the button on the camera. Yeah. Okay, so now let's thicken my sauce. Stir, stir, stir. How many seconds is that? 28 seconds. Okay, we don't need 28 seconds of. We're putting in 2 tablespoons of flour. Stir, stir, stir. 24 seconds. Still pretty long for making a flour slurry, but it'll do. And let's get rid of the first few microseconds of this. And let's see how this looks. So we're stirring it, and now we're going to, okay, we don't need that much stirring. I can talk about lumps because the lumps don't seem to make that much of a difference. What was interesting is that because I let it sit for a while, the flour sort of went to the bottom, and it was kind of weird. Okay, let's zoom out a little bit. So yeah, like in Resolve, how do you resize a clip? And that's the stuff that I don't know it intuitively. Taste test, okay. Let's leave the whole thing there. What am I doing here? It's thickening. Let's leave a few seconds of thickening here. How many seconds? This is 13 seconds long. You don't need 13 seconds. Okay, so now we're down to 9 seconds. We can live with 9 seconds. And we're going to put some rice on a plate. Now, in other cooking shows, I've done the rice in the show. I thought cooking rice is boring, right? You pour rice in a pot, add some water, cover it, and wait 5 minutes. So I didn't do that. So, but here we're going to have, the dialogue is going to be talking about serving it over rice or noodles. Let's move that over just a little bit so it's centered nicely. Yeah, there's centered. Okay, and now we're going to pour, 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 pour. Don't need to see the bottom of the pan. And we're down to a 10-minute video. Okay, we're going to cut up some green onion. Again, in real life, I actually did cut the green onion early in the cycle, partly because, again, it's a matter of showmanship and video production and movie production. Is when you cut green onions, when you cut ginger on a white cutting board, it leaves no colored residue. When you cut red peppers on a white cutting board, they leave a red residue. When you cut green onions, they leave no residue. So I did the green onions first. Maybe I did them after there. Yeah. So obviously I did had done the ginger already. Because I wanted to organize it by not leaving a mess on my cutting board. In real life, you care less about the mess, right? Okay, that's good. I don't mind that. I might want to, let's make this a little bit bigger, right? How far out can I go? Yeah, I might as well have a little bit of a close-up of the food. Okay, here we're cutting up. Okay, so I don't need that. I don't need, how many seconds of cutting up? What do I have here? I have 20 seconds, sorry, 9 seconds. 9 seconds. Oh, that's the timeline. Duration, 15 seconds. Hey, Chef Roast and Gag, thank you for coming by. I saw your note, and I'm trying to figure out how to Oh, graduation. Hey, congratulations. I appreciate that. Did we meet your son? I can't remember, but maybe we did at one point. Um, I'm I was away from YouTube for 2 months, and I'm starting to get caught up. I love the idea of doing a StreamYard live with you. But what I'd like to do is wait till the boat's in the water, which will be like May, maybe end of May, and then touch base and and join your live from the boat, if that's okay with you. Um, Email, I don't have it published. Um, you can. I don't know how to get a hold of me. Leave a message somewhere, and if we talk about when the boat's in the water, sitting in the back of the boat, chatting with you and your chat, um, I think is sort of a nice juxtaposition to you being in the kitchen surrounded by all of your great stuff and me out in the open kind of thing. If that works for you, okay. So thank you for that. We'll touch base. I will come by your lives from time to time. As I say, I've got to get back. The algorithm has decided it doesn't like me, so I gotta do some stuff. But I did like your suggestion, and we'll publicize it a little bit. Tuber Chat is on here. He talks about publicizing things on Reddit. I don't have a Reddit account, but yeah, definitely just check out if you Tuber Chats is cool. He's got some really good reviews of other people's channels and good information. So yeah, thanks for coming by there, Chef Roast. I really do appreciate that. The other thing is YouTube seems to have changed their um, notification system again. So on the screen, um, I used to get all of on the left side. Used to get all the lives of all the people that I've subscribed to, and now there are no lives on the left side. There's lives on the right side when you click on subscription, but there's only like 20 or 30, and on the other side you used to get 50, 60. So I'm sure there's people that are missing um, as well. So it's more work now to keep track of people you want to follow, and I've always just been very random. I see somebody there, I click on it and watch it and support it for a while. Okay, so what are we doing here? We're cutting up green onion. Okay, so we've got 11 seconds. How fast? Okay, so I'm not unhappy with my amount of speed for cutting. Let's leave this at full zoom because the onions are pretty small. So this is 100%. So that looks nice. So that's green. I like the green color. Okay, and now we're going to take some of that and okay, yeah, I took out the 8 frames. Cut. Let's just center that a little bit more. Okay, let's bring this here. We don't need to see this empty plate. Okay, let's zoom out a little bit. And where's my hand coming? Hand. There we are. And the dialogue is going to be, we're going to talk about garnishing with green onion. Chef, yeah, this is ginger beef. Partly because I had bought a whole bunch of beef, ginger because it was on sale. And I'd left it out for about 2 months and it was starting to dry out, so I wanted to use it up. And I thought, okay, I've done ginger chicken, I've done ginger shrimp. Let's do ginger beef because I also had some bits of beef lying around left over. What program? This is all Adobe Premiere Pro, which I pay for. For a while, I was getting it free from Adobe because of stock photos and video I was doing for them. I guess this year they decided that they don't really need to give it away anymore. So now we're paying for it. 10 seconds of, but for me, I think it's worthwhile. I know how it works. Intuitively almost. And so yeah, I know how, if I want to zoom out, basically change the size of the clip, I know how to do that without thinking about it. If I go into Premiere, into DaVinci Resolve, I have to think about it. I've tried CapCut on TikToks. I can't stand it. I can't stand working on a phone, first of all, and I always get frustrated. So even TikToks, I edit them in Premiere and then upload the edit. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm not happy with that. So I don't know if I like this one. Let's just move it out of the way for the time being. And look at this. So I recorded, shot it again. I changed my position a little bit. Let's see. A little bit more, zoom out. And okay, so yeah, I changed my position so that I'm bringing the bolt plate up from the bottom. I've got a bit of rice sticking out there. I didn't intend that, but that's not much I can do about that. Okay, so I got a piece of meat and the camera stayed in focus. That's good. There we are. Yeah, Adobe Premiere Pro. Now, okay, so we're not going to use this one here. Let's get rid of it. The on project is clip number 284. Let's delete it from the project. 284, where's 284? 284. So let's just rename this thing in case I don't want to actually delete it. I don't want to lose it, but this way it's not in our way. And okay, so then I tried something else. I decided I was going to take a bite on screen. I've done that on when I've cooked on the back of the boat with the barbecue. And I thought it worked well. I'm not a fan of watching people eat or eating the on screen, but it seems to have worked. Let's bring them up there. Okay, so here. Okay, so here. Okay, so we'll do 6 seconds of the captain eating the. So what's our movie long? It's 9 minutes. For such a simple recipe, that 9 minutes seems a bit on the long side. Pardon me while I just have a sip of water here. What I'm going to do, because I do need to, it's after 9, I need to stop and deal with something else. But what this is going to be green screen, which is because the captain's on a green screen, right? And let's see, so the color is nice, I like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to find ourselves Ultra Key, which is Adobe's name for its keying program. And we're going to, always aggressive, let's just zoom in here. Aggressive. And we're going to now come back to our friend the captain. Looks like all the green is gone. Alpha channel. Okay, so we've got some more. We've got a shadow here. So obviously it's not dark enough. Now we're nice, right? So this is good. Like again, if I go back to Resolve, it would take me, like I have to Google how do you use their keying, and their keying is nice. I have used it. Adobe used to allow you to click in 2 places or 3 places when UltraKey was a standalone plugin. And then when they bought the thing, you can only click on in one spot for the keying color. So you can do multiple layers, but that's a lot of work, and it screws up the quality of the image a little bit as well. So, and just to tell you where this is going to go, let me bring in. I'm going to cheat and steal it from another edit. Pantry pasta. Just going to steal a bunch of things that we need. That's enough, right? Copy that from another project, so I'm not reinventing this over and over and over. Close project. Paste it here, and then we'll come back to that. But what I really wanted was this piece. So here, now the captain is eating on the back of the boat. And it's not quite bright enough, right? So this is going to give me grief. So let's see if we can effect controls, okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to brighten him up a little bit. There we are. And now this has to happen before the keying. Otherwise the color is a little bit wrong. Okay, what's going on here? There we are. Okay. So there we are. Eating on the boat by the magic of video. Isn't it great? Okay, so now I'm going to do 2 more little kinds of things. I'm going to just think of what do I want for my intro. So my intro is going to be this, the finished product. I'm going to duplicate it here. I don't need the soundtrack part of it. And I'm going to make this copy of this clip, stick it at the beginning. Okay, so I'm starting here. And now I also want a picture of something cooking. Where is a good thing cooking? Okay, that's I like this, right? Because this is got some nice color. Let's take that. I think one of the pieces that okay, so this is 7:39, 5 seconds. I think I like this better because it's, I zoomed the camera. So let's take a few seconds of this and put it at the beginning with the intro. Again, let's get rid of the soundtrack. And if I remember correctly, there was more at the beginning. 6 seconds is perfect. Let's get rid of the bit on the short side, so we're down to 4 seconds. Let's make it bigger. And let's move this to the beginning. Hey, move. Anytime, computer. Okay, so this is going to be the intro, and it's going to show some of the cooking. Very nice. Now, can I go further this way? I don't want to show the sauce being poured in. I just want to show the meat frying. So that's good. And what we'll do is we'll just bring this over. Now, in here, we're going to have the captain introducing this. So it's going to be, I still need to record that. And that will be the beginning of this. So let me move this over here. And do that over here. And yeah, so that's basically this this recipe. I liked the taste when it was finished. I served it over rice. Noodles might have been more interesting. Another spoonful of brown sugar would have made it a little bit sweeter, but it was good. I liked it, and hopefully it'll. It's fast and simple, and a few ingredients. The fact that it's got fresh meat in it so it's not really a boat recipe, unless you got a freezer. Freezer on my boat won't store meat. I wouldn't trust it for more than a day or two. So it's yeah, it was good. It was what did I want to do here? I wanted to just visit this guy. Okay. And let's close this and save this program. Always worried about the computer crashing. And when I started with Premiere, you could guarantee it would crash, especially when we had digital video, DV tapes. And you're capturing tapes and capturing, and it would crash. And then you have to go back and figure out how far it had gone and where it left its files. And it was a real pain in the derriere. Current versions are good. This latest computer it hasn't crashed with this computer yet. So I'm pretty happy with that. Let's flip this back. Say hello to whoever's left there, and see if we can get this uploaded. Let's save that. Close that. Save it. Yes, we're going to save it. And as I try to get back into the good graces of the algorithm, the algorithm is all important. Without the algorithm, where would we be? This this should be live on the weekend. And as I said to Chef Roast, the boat will be in the water the first weekend in May, and then it should get warm enough pretty quickly to cook on the boat and also chat on the boat. Maybe cook and chat at the same time. Didn't get that much exciting feedback from the cooking on the boat last year, the barbecuing. So I don't know if I may do one more boat barbecue. Partly because I like barbecued on the boat, but to think of what it might be, we did steak sandwich. We did salmon. I thought I might even done salmon twice. Might have done salmon twice. Or maybe the one salmon was in the galley, not on the back barbecue. And we did a burger on the boat, and so that was nice being out in the fresh air. We could do chicken. We could do another fish. I say I keep trying to relive something that happened to me in the Virgin Islands many years ago. I chartered a boat there, and they gave us a week's worth of provisions that were frozen, so the fridge was cool enough to keep stuff frozen for the week. And so we had chicken and steak and fish. And one day we had the fish on the barbecue, and ended up looking at the fish on the barbecue. Let's just lower this down so it shows up properly on a phone. I don't know why my new phone is doing weird things in terms of crap on the bottom of the screen. And Seagull comes down and steals the fish off the barbecue. And so that was one of the meals that we didn't have. We ended up with enough other food to get by. It wasn't a problem. We're going to starve, because I think we moored and went on shore for a couple of dinners anyway, so it was more food than we needed. But just the concept of a seagull coming down and stealing your food from the back of your boat was kind of neat. So I'm trying to restage that. That's hopefully with the summer we'll figure that out. Talked about fishing off the back of the boat and do a catch and fry kind of thing. That's still a possibility this year. So we'll see what the summer is like. Looking forward to it. The snow was melted here in Toronto. I think there's still ice in the harbor. I'm going down to the boat to check on it tomorrow, and then we'll see. So as I say, we've got to get caught up, get a recipe a week, a couple of lives a week to make the algorithm happy. So having said all of that, I'm going to push the X button on this phone and say thank you for dropping by. Thank you for listening to me. And we'll see you later. Ahoy.